Slowly but surely trickling in. Turn that down. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome into Trade Skills. I am working on some carvings again. Right now it is Le Lion. I don't know that's how you actually say it, but alien. Yeah, so I did this little cowboy alien before. It's kind of like free carving. I've never really, prior to starting this one, I didn't really do too much free carving. I was kind of just like learning the fundamentals. So this was like my first time stepping kind of out once I've learned what I was going to learn. Actually, let me check something. All right, we're back. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so getting into it, guys, this is Trade Skills. This is part of the Path to the Polymath series where I go from zero knowledge to somewhat proficient. Currently, I'm working on wood carving and whittling, and then once I gather enough skills on that, I will interview somebody who is much more experienced than I am at wood carving or whittling, and then I'll move on to the next skill. So that's kind of the goal. Then wood carving, I would say, I don't know, I've probably done 15 or so episodes. I don't really do many outside of the episodes just because I want it to be I want you guys to basically learn with me. What is going on, Ken Baldwin? Chris, howdy. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hate Avast. Oh, I hate Avast. So I remember back in the days, Avast was like pretty decent, you know. Window washer, Avast, McAfee, a lot of these to kind of keep your computer. And my dumb ass, I was like, you know what? I've got a brand new desktop. I think I'm going to get something to like protect it. You know, I spent all of this money on it. I might as well protect it. And I forgot how like predatory that it is. You know, Avast is just fucking nasty, man. So you can cancel it and it'll still kind of keep popping up. It'll pin itself and shit. It's has, I don't know, like 8 pop-ins. Ooh, that boy looking thick. I opened up one of the beers from the cellar. I don't think this one is like crazy old. Blackberry, apricot, and mango smoothie style sour ale slushy XXL, and it is North Brewing Company, Columbus, Indiana. This is Nimbus 2000. I actually was saving this for a Harry Potter episode to have with Jake, but then I moved away from Nashville, so not doing that one. And yeah, I was holding on to it for that reason. I was trying for a date, but I didn't see it. I'm a little concerned about this one. A little concerned. Here, hold on. I'm a little concerned. Look at this thing. This literally looks like some Harry Potter-esque drink right here. It looks this look like it gonna be stout. It's gonna have some extra little something. This is not a muggle beverage. Show you guys up top. There you go. This is the Bitburger glass. I just needed a good one. Reed Ann, what's going on? All right, let's try it out before I get into the carving. It's probably been sitting here for 2 years, but some beer sellers well. Oh, that's great. Oh, I was worried, you know. I was worried, but it actually, Ricky Frazier joined. What's going on, man? Howdy, howdy. Thanks for tuning in. I'm drinking beer and doing some free carving, so some wood carving. I carved up this cowboy alien, and yeah, now I think I just wanted to try just an alien by itself. I'm gonna have, this looks strange, but this is actually, it's like rib cage. I'll have some arms off to the side, and this is like, you know, they all have like bad scoliosis, so I'm gonna have that as like its back, and probably like carve in deep right here for some like the spine, you know, make it nice and grody. So I'll see what I can do today. I am in no way a professional wood carving or anywhere close to it. I probably have 20 hours maybe wood carving and whittling, so still very new at it. Why have the gloves on? I do not know. I don't need it yet. I guess that's kind of like getting your jersey on, getting ready for a game. It's kind of getting in the mindset. All right, I'm gonna strop this a bit. I don't even know if you guys can hear me properly. All right. I had planned to do some hot takes today as well. Just some kind of things that have kind of been on my mind. All of these like annoyances. I feel like I feel like it's unfair to society, but I have things that I expect from myself, and I kind of unfairly expect them from others. Some things make sense, you know, like putting your buggy back when you go shopping. But some things are rules that, you know, things that I think sensible people should do, and that if they're not doing it, then they are not sensible people. But yeah, I had some hot takes today to talk about. Just kind of, I figured while I was doing a little bit of carving, pull out our little blade here. This is one I do a lot of my big meaty cuts with. And if you want to know what any of this stuff is, actually, you know what? I should go over it, because you know, Mr. Dad, he might not know. He might not know. What I'm currently doing is stropping and honing the blade. So this is basically just kind of refining my edge. This isn't quite like using any kind of grit, you know, sharpening stones or whetstones or anything like that. This is kind of like, once your blade is already kind of sharp, this is kind of just is maintaining it. It kind of keeps it there. I want to make sure I keep my blade at roughly the same angle the whole time, and you notice I'm pulling it there, which is causing it to drag across in a way that I don't necessarily want. But you're essentially taking very, very small microscopic amounts of material off. Now, if you kept doing this forever, would you just not have a blade? It's possible, you know. You have a blade that's like 100 years old, you know, passed down from like grandfather to son to grandson, so on, and this is their only method. I'm sure eventually you would get a very small blade if they just used one blade. I think that one should be nice and good. Really, proof is in the pudding with these, because you'll go to carve and it'll just feel like it's just not pushing through the wood as well as it should. And that's when you know you need to go back to it. Kind of a rule of thumb, you know, your softer wood, like basswood, like the wood that is over here, probably every 20-25 minutes of carving, you want to go ahead and start doing this again, just to kind of re-up on your blade. A dull blade will mess up your, sorry, my screen, I need to take my screensaver off. A dull blade will tear up your projects or tear up your finger, so neither one of those is ideal. Yeah, just kind of keep this at its nice little angle and just kind of keep at it. Hey, LA joined. What's going on? Are those chicken wings? Oh, just planets, like Saturn. Okay. I thought you had like chicken wings next to your name. I was like, you wild out there. You love you some chicken, don't you? I really should do this more often, like on my own. But honestly, this hour or so that I come on the show with you guys is like the only time I feel like I can do this. And that's probably not true. It's probably just that I don't prioritize my time properly. You know, when I do have free time, I end up doing dumb things like scrolling social medias or whatever. I suppose if I said, okay, any free time I have, I am refining my skill. I mean, I've definitely got the wood for it. I got enough wood to last me a while. Maybe it might be a little more entertaining for you guys to pop in and see somebody actually knowing what they're doing when they're carving. I am better. I am a lot better than I was when I first started. It was pretty bad when I first started. I had watched some like YouTube tutorials. Ricky Cole, what's going on? Hooper Ridge, Billy Gaylor, what's going on? So I'd watched a couple YouTube videos, and that was kind of the gist of it, you know. I'd bought a couple blades on Amazon, which I think actually I might start on one of these other platforms. I might start like promoting these, you know, so if somebody sees some of the woodworking I'm doing and they're like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to get into that, then they can, you know, buy the equipment that I have and get to it, you know, and maybe I'll get a little kickback, so that can't hurt. I mean, you're already there, why not? Man, that beer is actually really good. Slushy XXL. Smoothie style sour ale with blackberry, apricot, and mango. And it is Nimbus 2000. I don't really understand the, I guess because it's like a slushy is why they have this like slushy thing in the middle, but it's got this like, you know, Harry Potter, there's like the Quidditch, there's the golden bench. Is that right? I don't know. It's literally on the TV in there. Just now, we just finished. It's been a while, but we finished. I decided to just click on it today. My kid was hanging out, and I didn't really want to watch any more like Blue's Clues, or I didn't want to watch any Daniel Tiger. He's been obsessed with orchestras, Andrea Bocelli and Pavarotti lately. So any one of those three is like watching any kind of orchestras where people are playing lots of instruments. If it's a random band, he doesn't seem interested. But if it's an orchestra, everybody in suits and dresses and, you know, brass and violins and so on, he's there. He's watching. And he's also, like I said, Andrea Bocelli and Pavarotti he really likes. On top of like Blue's Clues and like Original with Steve. You know, that's the way to go. And Daniel Tiger and Elmo, those are his things. So anyways, we didn't fit. I say we, like he had some input in that, but I did not want to watch any more Daniel Tiger or anything like that. So I put on a little Harry Potter, and I came in at the, I think I jumped in and Goblet of Fire. Because why not, you know? I feel like once things started getting a little darker, that's when I started really liking it. The first like 3 movies, or actually the first couple movies were, I mean, they're okay. They're obviously like kiddie movies, like with some dark moments, of course. The Basilisk and all that, but I think when Sirius came in, he added some to it. I'm gonna take some off. See this so you guys can actually see it. There we go. Okay, that seems to be cutting okay. Like butter. All right. I'm gonna round off this face a bit. This is what is called a push cut. I'm essentially, I'm not using my wrist to really pull the blade. I feel like I don't get as much precision that way. And after a while, that just puts a lot of strain on your wrist. So the push cut uses your thumb to kind of guide it. And this is probably one of my more used cuts. You know, there's like the pull cut, so that you're basically gripping it like this, getting really, really close to the blade, and I'm trying to get this, and or the paring cut, the pull cut or the paring cut, and you're trying to keep a consistent kind of angle. The deeper your angle, the more chance you have to kind of like, I call it chunking. It's like taking off, inadvertently taking off like a large chunk of wood. So if you're going for that, if you're trying to take off a large amount of material, that's fine. You know, you're in like your very early shaping phases of wood carving, of your project. But once you start getting in here and like fine tuning a bit, you don't want any of that. Doing these really like shallow push cuts. These are not though. I need to get a little deeper, make my angle a little more severe. I don't mind chunking these. I feel like I have just a little too much material on this side. He's gonna be a very lopsided alien. Ooh, that's chunking hard on that side. I'm just kind of trying to round off his head a bit. And if you are a wood carver or you have more experience than me, which I don't think would be a difficult thing, being that I am so new at this, throw in some pointers, man. I do not mind criticism. I am not a prideful person. I like to learn, and especially if I'm not doing something right, I don't mind somebody telling me. I'm just doing this almost parallel with, I think they call that like plane carving. I might be wrong. I think of like planing wood, like a planer, like very, very little angle in it. You're just taking the top off the top layer. Okay, that's not working right. I think I was working against the grain on that particular cut. All right, let's take a look at him from the front. Okay, he's getting there. So I'm eventually gonna have to take in his face a good bit, obviously. So I want the top of his head to be really bulbous. So up here, chin down here. Okay, that looks roughly where I'm going. Eventually I'm gonna start carving in. I think the neck will be like one of the last things I do. So I'll kind of for a long time have kind of a serious amount of material right here. Just because I don't want to make a thin neck, you know, and carve these sides in this way and put some pressure on and the head snap off, you know. It doesn't take much. So if I see these, that's an area that it might be a problem, I'll just, I'll work on it last. Let's, I'm gonna do a little stop cut right here because I want this to be his arms. He's a bit wide-bodied right now, but that's, you know, that's okay. That was intentional. Just to kind of make room for his shoulders and his arms. Line it up through the back. All right. Now coming up through this way. He's gonna be a little crooked, but you know what? That's okay. That is all right. Let's get back in here and I'll take some in on this side, but not a lot. Just enough to start trying to build that shape. I really need to turn off that damn screensaver. So I use this, I've got this like really old laptop, right? It was like my first, I won't say it's my first big boy purchase, but I was going off to college and I needed a laptop. You know, I didn't have a computer at all, so I needed one for school, papers and such. And one of my, you know, when they're like, oh, what do you need it for? You know, I could have said school, and I did eventually, but I was like, I need it to be powerful enough, and this is going to kind of age it a bit. I was like, I need it to be powerful enough to play Oblivion, which now they have the remake of Oblivion. It definitely would not be able to handle that, but it could play Oblivion, and I played the shit out of Oblivion on it. I think this is probably like, I don't know, 2008, 2009 laptop. So it is grossly outdated and ancient. It is, the sticker over here says Vista, like Windows Vista. So like pretty old. And it's not running Vista on it. I think it's got Windows 7, which is still really old. They're at what, 11 now, so it doesn't really have much use, but it works if it's plugged in directly to a power source. This is its second battery, and it works if I think we did some slight upgrades on it, you know, RAM and GPU and things like that, and hard drive, and it cleaned it up, put Windows 7 on it, and it works. It works, but, well, no. So, if you watched last episode, my monitor died out on me. And I was like, well, shit, you know, like I've got two monitors. I've got my main computer way over there, and I've got just cables running over here to this part of the workshop. And, so I have two monitors over there, but I needed a third to come over this way. And I think while I've lived in Illinois, so shy of 2 years, that would have been the second monitor that went bad on me. So no bueno. And I found a way to make my laptop a secondary monitor. You basically like hook up a capture card and run that from your desktop to your laptop. So from USB or from HDMI to a USB capture card. And you had to have some kind of program like OBS or something. Only thing is it's Windows 7, and it has to be, whatever the app is, it has to be Windows 7 compatible. So last night I must have run through, I don't know, 10 different like versions of OBS that supposedly worked, and I downloaded other apps that supposedly like that would work, and I looked up this like wireless desktop option. So you basically, if your desktop and your laptop, or if you have two laptops, if they're on the same wireless network, you can make this like a wireless monitor. That didn't work. It didn't come in until after Windows 7. So I think it was like a Windows 10 feature. So that did not work for me. So what I had to do is get a security cam footage app. So it like checks to see if it like detects motion and records, you know. You have something like, you have webcams in your house and you can set up your own like little, anyways, I had that, and it's, instead of looking at the webcam, it's broadcasting my desktop. And when I tell you it looks bad, it looked real bad. Dude, this area right here, I don't know if this is just the way the grain is or what, but it is chunking hard. And I do not want that. And it's just to that direction or that area of the wood. So I'm not really sure why it's doing that. It could just be the grain of this particular piece of wood. Because I mean, it's wood. It's a, you know, it was an organic, or it is an organic thing, but it was a living thing, and you know, it does its own thing. So if it didn't want to stay in the same angled grains, that's its prerogative. That's what it wants to do. Yeah, dude, it's this whole side right here. Ooh, that was that side over there. I had a piece chunk and I thought that maybe that's what it was, but it's rolling good now on this side. So I'm working down this area by his lower jaw. It would be like the lower jaw on the back of the head. So he's gonna have a big knot back here, and then it's gonna kind of dip in. So right now I'm just kind of rounding it off. I'm taking like kind of some chunks of material that aren't really needed. One of the things I tell people whenever I talk about wood carving, especially if they've never done it before or anything like it, is seeing, you know, you see a block and just knowing what to take away. So my mind doesn't work that way, and it's been an interesting learning experience because I'm an adder, if that makes any sense. I'm not used to taking away as far as like my artistic direction. So like paint, you know, I'm adding paint to a canvas. I'm adding ink. I'm adding lead to a piece of paper. Sculpting, I'm adding material and building on that and building on that. But this is all taking away. So it doesn't use another part of the brain, not that I know of, but I wouldn't be surprised if I learned it did. Right now I'm just trying to take some big areas of meat off the back of this. So I'm pretty regular about cleaning off my desk, right? At least getting like a lot of the wood chips and shit off. But the floor of the studio is probably gnarly, to be honest. Just like covered in it. See, I'm using the slightest edge on this, but this side seems to be chunking. What if I do it this way? This is really kind of going against the grain. Seems to be working okay. Slowly tearing through it. Trying to round this head off. All right, we're getting a nice back head section of an alien, so we're getting there. So this will be his like chest. Try to put this where you guys can see it as well. So this will be his chest. I'll do probably some kind of deep cut here to kind of like show off the arms and round off like deltoids. Maybe carve in here with some ribs. And then this part right here, just completely take, I'll probably have to drill a hole in here and just to kind of create some separation. No, I could probably just V-cut my way into it. It's shallow enough. Let's get some more of this bad boy. All right. So really, I don't use any kind of like sandpaper on any of these projects. I really should. But there's this, you know, some carvers don't like to use sandpaper at all, and they like the roughness of it. You know, it shows obviously it's been carved versus something, you know, with so much shit that's just like kind of manufactured these days. It shows the bespokeness of it, if that's a phrase. It shows it's wood that's actually been worked by hand. Start carving into that point on the face. I'm using kind of an aggressive angle here, to be honest. I'm kind of trying to take off a good amount of material because I actually have a good amount of material to take off. Try to put this to where you guys can actually okay, all right. He is getting there. That was an unintended V-cut. Round that bad boy off some more. Ooh, that's a nice little knot you got there. You do not want that. With carving, you kind of you'll carve a bit out and then you'll see edges and you're like, well, let me take these edges off. And I think it's extra hard for somebody with ADHD because it's not, it's not cookie cutter, it's not like part A, part B, part C. It's like, I see something I need to do. Okay, I'm gonna work on that. And then, okay, now I gotta do this and now I gotta do this. And all right, the side of the face is working in. So now I just gotta kind of take in this side. Whew. Put some meat on them bones. Yeah, with ADHD though, like you do a cut and you're like, oh, I gotta go take that corner off. Then you're like, well, actually this looks let me get this piece here. And it's like, well, now I gotta get that corner. It's like, I gotta get this thing done. And man, this doesn't look good. Let me go ahead and work on this a bit. You're like, where the fuck was I? I'm much better, like I said, like artistically, my brain is adding things instead of subtracting, as you do with sculpting and, not sculpting, probably like stone carving or wood carving. You know, you're taking things away. It's seeing the negative space. It's not quite the right term I'm looking for, but seeing the art or the final product within a block. So that's been honestly I'm glad I took this on, because it's a great practice to have, a great thing to practice. Okay. Taking that head in some more. Oh shit, I realized that most of you guys can't even see me. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry. I like that I'm literally like 40 minutes into this and not realizing it. You guys have just been watching my face this whole time and listening to me talk instead of not carving. Sorry, that's for people who are on the blue platform, the red platform, the purple platform. You know who you are. Ah, yes, much better. Sorry about that. That's embarrassing. And that's a whole almost hour of just shitty content. Sorry, to be honest about that. Shitty content. You're literally doing a show about wood carving and people can't even see you carving wood. Rookie mistake. You guys playing any video games these days? And if you are, what games are you playing? Or what games are you super excited about? I am excited about, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. I have my, anyways, big Metal Gear fan. And I love Snake Eater, and I have probably like, I won't say I have every version. I passed up on that, like the rare one with the red cover on it. I had access to it, but I just passed on it. I had access to it when it was like already really expensive, and I was like, I just can't justify it, you know. I played, well, I was already a Monster Hunter fan, but I played Portable Third because there was a collaboration with Metal Gear, Snake Eater to be specific, but Metal Gear in general, because you could play as the boss or a Naked Snake. You can have the skin for them. You can go on hunts and hunt down like a Rathalos, and your voice will be that of Snake's. And it was fucking great. I've got it on the 3DS. I've got the HD collection on the Vita. I've got like all of the little bundles, you know, like Legacy Collection, and I've got like there was like a PS2 collection that had 1, 2, and 3. Had a release of Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PS2, and then it had 2 and 3 on it. So I've got that. I've got, I think, 2 or 3 different sets for the PS3, but I didn't get that most recent one. I just heard it was like super fucking bugged. And I haven't got Delta yet, which I'm sad about, but honestly I don't have time. I don't really have like a shit ton of time to play games. or at least I don't prioritize my time to play them. I mean, my Steam library right now, which mind you, I like dumb games. If it's entertaining to me, it doesn't need to have like the craziest graphics. I've got a couple like horror games that are, I mean, equivalent of like PS2 graphics. And I'm like, yes, give me that. But I'm excited about Delta, and I will eventually get it. It's not going anywhere. I probably won't play Metal Gear Online. You know, I played it with Metal Gear Solid 3 a lot. And I played... Yeah, so I played like Metal Gear Online a lot. And it was great, but those kind of like competitive games, I don't really have much interest in them anymore. I'm excited about, was it Dragon Quest? Is it 6 or 7? I know they're doing an HD remake of 1 and 2. That I think, hey, what's going on, man? What is up? It's crazy because I can't see that comment on. Oh, okay, it's YouTube. What's up? Aaron, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. I don't think anybody's ever commented on that platform before, on my show, to be honest. I don't think anybody's ever come in and hung out with me. Or if they have, they've just kind of, you know, they didn't comment, but they just like kind of watched for a bit. But yeah, man, thanks for coming in and hanging out with me. I'm wood carving. I am learning how to wood carve, and I'm carving an alien. So this is kind of the situation now. So eventually I'm going to take in the sides here. Those would be like arms and shoulders and ribs and back, the head, obviously. But yeah, I'm getting back to the games. I'm excited about this next Dragon Quest. I do want to get the HD remakes of 1 and 2. I'm a big Dragon Quest fan. I'm a big fan of just like turn-based RPGs. I don't know. That's kind of where I won't say that's where I got my start, but I'm definitely a huge fan of turn-based RPGs. And well, just RPGs in general, but I do have a love for turn-based. Because I mean, something like Star Ocean technically isn't turn-based. It can be. It's probably like, if I remember right, like his initiative, almost like D&D. And Grandia, I mean, there were turns, but it was almost like initiative. You know, certain things you could do could make people go a little further back in line. So that you were taking turns, but it wasn't like, you know, without a doubt, I go, you go, they go. I go, you go, they go. And Secret of Mana, you know, like I was a huge Secret of Mana fan, and it wasn't turn-based, but you definitely could pause it mid-fight and, you know, turn yourself really little with well, you can't really say what it's called anymore, but it would turn you into a little person as a mallet. And then yeah, big Star Ocean, big Breath of Fire fan, 3 and 4 specifically. I know I said I wasn't going to take in the neck much, but here I am fucking taking it in. And I guess I shouldn't take it in too much more, because that will be a snapping point if I make it a little too thin. I'm just going to clear the shoulder real quick because it's going to drive me crazy. Yeah, that looks fine. All right. Currently he's a blockhead, so I'm going to try to round that head off, which is just going around and taking off material. Just keep going around. That sound you're hearing, that's just really where I'm putting in some elbow grease to try to get some material off this. And when you get towards the end of the wood up here at the top, I don't know if you can hear it, it's a bit denser. So slowly but surely rounding that head off. So I have this being about the height of the head, and I'm just gonna kind of keep working it until eventually he looks less like a blockhead and more rounded. The way I'm cutting this though, every piece of like wood chips is literally flying off of the shelf or off the table. Like there's probably a gnarly stack of it. I'm glad I at least have a table though. I was doing this all on my knee like somebody's grandpappy, and just kind of like posted up in a chair over there and was carving, and I was like, this is fine, you know, there's grandpappies everywhere that do it this way. But once you're more experienced, that's fine. But like really new like I was, I just really couldn't get the leverage that I needed working with my knee. And honestly, it was kind of dangerous. Cut against the top of the blade here, or top of the grain. My girlfriend recently sent me this like wood carving of Marcus, if you guys know the meme. Like I could carve that thing. I mean, his arms are so pencil thin. I mean, I probably could carve the body okay, to be honest, but I would probably have to use like actual twigs or something for its arms. Sculpting it would not be a problem. But carving it, yes. So currently all I'm doing is just working these angles down. There's like sharp edges, and the more I can do that, the more like rounded his head is gonna look. So just taking off any of these severe edges. Okay, so he's starting to look more of like a rounded head. So his face isn't going to be this flat, though they do have really flat faces, allegedly. But that's kind of where he's getting at now. This would be a great time to give it a sec and kind of strop my blades again. Let's get this beer can out. Ooh, I got a little more. Okay, I guess just hit the hour mark. This platform makes you like line up a puzzle piece to show that you're not just sitting here for an hour just to be here, which I think it's cool, but it also, like, I don't know, it could, maybe it's something they do for people who are very new at streaming. It's kind of like a cautionary thing, or like they're in like a trial period, probational period, so to speak, and that's one of the limitations of their stream, to make sure that they're not like getting in their stream hours by just going AFK. All right. I know I told you earlier, 25, 30 minutes. You want to go ahead and get back and start doing this with your blade again? I'd say I probably stuck within that. I mean, I know we've been on the show for coming on an hour, but I haven't been carving for an hour. Very beginning, I was doing this. I was stropping. And then I talked for a bit and drank a beer for a bit. Trying to make sure I maintain the same angle for my blade. Trying to see if I have any paper to kind of test it on. I do. Not so bad. Okay. That'll do, pig. All right. If you didn't catch it last episode, one of my hot takes, one of my things that's like super annoying, is people who park at the pump at a gas station and they don't pump gas. They just take up the spot because they don't feel like parking in an actual parking spot, or maybe the actual parking spot is further away than they actually want to be. So yeah, they're just like lazy as shit and they just take up a pump. So if somebody else wants to use it, they just can't. So that is one of my pet peeves. People parking in places that aren't parking spots. So super fucking annoying. So people that like pull right up to the gas station and it's not even a parking spot. They just are running in to get cigarettes or whatever. But I mean, everybody else is doing the same thing. Nobody's going in there to like hang out. Everybody's in there really quick. So like, it's just people being selfish and just inconsiderate. They just don't care about nobody else but themselves. Turn signals, man. I've got bad road rage. I won't say it's bad, okay? I'm not getting out trying to like hurt nobody, but I will like yell and shit in my car. It's a bit passive aggressive. But like turn signals are a must, man. You gotta let people know, and you need to turn on your turn signals before you even apply your brakes. You know, the turn signal is there to let people around you know, hey, slow your roll. If you're speeding, if you're hauling ass, slow your roll. I'm getting ready to put on my brakes. I'm getting ready to turn. It also tells people in front of you like, hey, be careful, I'm turning into here. So if you're turning in, you know. So people who like slam on their brakes and then like after they're already turning, they turn in their blinker, or they like whip over into a turning lane and then put on their blinker. And I'm like, buddy, it defeats the purpose. That lane is specifically designed to turn. So unless you are putting on a blinker that goes against the use of that lane, you've already fucked up. So those are some annoyances of mine. Dude, I fucking hate going into gas stations and there's like one person working the register and there's somebody who has to get like fucking 50 billion lotto tickets. That shit drives me crazy, especially if I'm in a rush, you know? Like, I stopped in to get gas and for some reason my card was being funky and it said, you gotta talk to a cashier. And I'm like, cool, you know, I gotta be in and out, I gotta be to work, you know? Like, let's get this shit done. And there's somebody who's getting like, all right, let me go ahead and get like $15 on this quick pick and let me get, and they're just taking up all this time buying lotto tickets. That's annoying as shit. Hot take. I hate people who are too lazy to get a parking spot further away. You know, they have to have like the closest fucking parking spot. So they just hang over me. Like when they see me walking out to the car, they like hang out behind my car, in their car, in hopes to get my parking spot. And they just like linger like a hungry fucking hyena. And sometimes I'm petty, man. Sometimes I'll get in my car and because they're like rushing you, you know, like they'll honk your horn at you. And sometimes I'll get out and I'll go right back inside. Like, hey, maybe I forgot something, who knows? Or sometimes I won't get out. I'll find something to do in my car that needs to get done. Because that thing gets on my nerves. Yeah. All right, let's round this guy's face off some more. Really solid like jawline right here that I mean I do want it, but I think I want to add it afterwards, so I'm gonna round it just a bit. All right, what do you think? This is where I'm going, this is where I'm at. So I think the aliens a lot of times have this really big bulbous bit up here and then it gets really thin back in this part, so I might start taking that in and leave like this big old just gnarly lump in the back. I'll have to doodle these eyes back on here. Lapis. Oh, that's crooked as shit. Okay. So he's a gray. He looks a little crooked. He looks a little crooked. I have all kinds of shit around, but I was trying to find desperately an eraser. Alright. Actually, I think I like this eye better. So I'm going to give him more of an angle. Makes it look a little more. Looks about right, yeah. He's getting there. Slowly but surely, he's getting there. Maybe I should get in here and like could always sand him down and paint him. But yeah, I think that's actually probably a good stopping point. I've had a great time on the show. Just getting in some more carves, and you guys are hanging out with me. So I hope to see you guys on the next episode. Thank you guys, Arian, Ryan, who? Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. All of the platforms, boom, 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 boom. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I will be back to carve some more. Hopefully next week I can go ahead and finish up this. He still looks crooked, doesn't he? A little bit. It doesn't matter. We'll get it in the carve. But thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me, man. It's been cool. I always like learning new stuff, so I will see you guys next episode.